Everyone, and welcome back to Night Combos.
Welcome back. Hubby's here.
Yep, hubby's here with us. Okay, y'all, so if y'all watched our previous video, y'all know that we're going to continue to keep up with our normal videos, non-dip jip and dip jip related videos. All of the protest videos that's supposed to be happening and going on, we're going to keep up with all of that and everything. But regardless, we just wanted to say real quick, thank you so very much to all of our subscribers, y'all. We've reached right at, or almost, sorry, got tongue tied. We've reached 2,800 subscribers, y'all. We've reached 2,800 subscribers. And we got 2 new super thanks, just for those who didn't see the previous video. And y'all know who you are. We don't know if you want your name said, but we do appreciate it so very much. It means so much to us personally and to the channel. It truly does. So thank you all so very much. But thank you so much to all of our subscribers. It's been with us from the very beginning all the way to now. And all of our new subscribers, welcome. Thank you so very much for subscribing. We greatly appreciate it. And if you're not already subscribed, please make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell, all of the things, and we would greatly appreciate it so very much. Okay, so we're gonna say something at the beginning of this that we're not gonna do in every video where we go over the book. On the book videos, we're just simply gonna jump in right where we left off. In the previous video, get what we're saying, like, so that we can just kind of continue through it. But before we start the book, there's a few things we wanted to say so that it's out there and known. But we're not going to, like I said, we're not going to say it in every video, just so that it doesn't take up time and so that we can get through more of the book. But also, we do have to kind of skip along and skip through some parts of the book because we can't read it word for word, or we might get copyrighted for that. Not sure. But regardless, we're not going to skip anything important or anything like that. But we just needed to say a few things first before we start the first chapter. But I call it a chapter. She calls it just 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Anyway, it's wild, y'all. But they're not very long at all. Like the sections, chapters, whatever you want to call them, they're not very long at all. So we'll probably go through a couple, 2 to 3 in each video. Okay, so jumping right off, there's really no pictures for us to show you or anything like that. But the reason we went ahead and decided to do this is because of the poll, which we did show in our previous video. So, and it's also still on our community page, but the majority of y'all wanted us to go over sections and do videos on them. So that's why we're doing this and still keeping up with all of our other regular videos as well as hubby working during the day and me getting back to work soon, hopefully with an ankle healing and all of that as well. So we will still keep up with everything. We're still going to keep up with the channel. But without further ado, let us just start out by saying we will be keeping up with the protest videos, like I was saying, and showing that to y'all. And also, as far as the book, yes, most of us know this is lies. Also, a lot of it you may not have actually heard before. But we will go ahead and tell you some of this will seriously piss you right off, y'all, because we haven't been through the whole book at all. We're going through it with y'all. We just listened to the beginning of it, and it has already pissed us right off. Anyway, but it'll piss y'all off because we only, like I said, we only listened to the very first part. And of course, she's already blaming everyone else. Of course. But she's saying and claiming some wild things. We want y'all to listen and give us your opinions and thoughts, all of that down below in the comment section about it, and we can talk about it like we always do, and we'll be down there conversating with y'all as well, like always. Also, please remember, we did not and would not and do not recommend you buy her book or anything from her and give her any of your hard-earned money. We explained how we were able to get this in the previous video, and that way one of our subscribers didn't have to buy the book and send it to us like they were wanting to do. So we got around that. We talked to a good friend and subscriber, and we got around that. So not one red cent was spent on this at all, which is great for us and bad for Gypsy, I guess, but really kind of good for her too, because she don't need nobody's money. She needs to make her own. But seriously, we don't recommend anyone give her any of your hard-earned money. We got this free and thought we would share with those of you that are curious and get y'all's thoughts on each section we go over. And we are still going to be putting out our regular videos, like I was saying, as well for those that aren't interested in the book videos. This was just the majority vote on the poll that we posted. Sorry, I got tongue-tied. Sorry about that. I'll be sitting here laughing at me, making fun of me, like, stop. You love to call me out and, like, pick on me. Anyway, we were going to say, so speaking of hard-earned money or your money being spent on Dip Jip or whatever, y'all really should go and watch our video that we have posted on our channel titled Gypsy's Social Security Fraud. Well, actually, it's titled Gypsy's SS Fraud, Important and Interesting Info. But it's about Gypsy's Social Security and SSI disability fraud. We really recommend you go do that. Go watch that video. We do have the info in that video where you can report her, so she has to pay that money that she stole out of yours, ours, and everyone else's hard-earned paycheck, because we all pay into that system every time we get paid, and not just to our own Social Security retirements, y'all. Just go watch that shorter video if you haven't, and make her be accountable for that. Also, everyone, please keep in mind, this is all alleged, and like Dip Jip said, this is, quote, her memories. Also, she was working on this while in prison and after coming out of prison. It's also based on what her co-authors, and we know Melissa Moore, which is one of her co-authors, isn't the best source, and also it's based on her and what she's told Dip Jip, and also what Daddy Rod and Krusty Christie has told her. Okay, sorry, but we did need to go over that. With all that being said, let's jump in. So we're going to start out with her dedication in the book. So y'all listen to this. Sorry, we wanted to make sure the volume was turned up. And we've also sped it up because, oh my gosh, if it was at normal speed, it would be ridiculous.
For all those who are touched or have been touched by Munchausen syndrome by proxy, and for those who advocate for their well-being.
Which is not you. And then she goes to her author's note.
Author's note. Everyone considers my story to be true crime, but this book is a work of memory.
That's because it is. Your story is true crime.
My memory, and therefore is a memoir, and not an outsider's investigation of my life or crime. The feelings and emotions invoked are accurate. While some of my childhood memories have faded, these particular events remain vivid. To fill many gaps, I've relied on other people's answers to my questions. The typical disclaimers apply. Some names and other details have been changed or omitted to protect the privacy of individuals. Any resemblance between a fictionalized name and a real person is strictly coincidental. Where there are passages containing dialogue, Quotations are used when I'm reasonably sure that the speaker's words are close to verbatim or that the speaker's actual meaning is accurately reflected. The story I share here is true to my memory, and these memories have shaped my perceptions, many of which are also shared here. This is how it was for me, what I experienced or believe I experienced.
No, it wasn't.
I know, I was about to say, like, you know, when you're a little kid and you see a family album, you could see a photo or something and think that that's a memory or whatever. When you become an adult, you think that's a memory, but actually it was like it came from a family, a picture from a family photo album or something. Like, that could be where some of her, quote, memory is coming from. Again, like we said, from Daddy Rod and Krusty Christy as well. I'm sure mostly from Krusty Christy.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're about to start section 1. So y'all will see how she just says 1. It's literally 1. Not chapter 1 or anything, or section 1, not just 1. And she's saying ka-va, like C-A space V-A. Ka-va. And she'll tell you what it means. Well, she does.
1. Sava. That's enough. When Dee Dee Blanchard was 24 years old, she gave life to me. When I was nearly 24 years old, I took life from her. I firmly believed that by doing so, I was saving the life she had guarded with all her might. Mine. Though she certainly saw my life as ours at best. We're two sides of the same penny, she liked to say. Meaning, although two things may look very different and be diametrically opposed, they're actually inseparable, two parts of the same whole. After being incarcerated for 8.5 years, I've been learning how to navigate life on my own, separately.
No, you have not. You have not learned how to navigate life on your own or anything. You literally used Ryan when you got out of prison. You used people while in prison. There's many of your cellmates who've come out and said that. You used them while you were in prison. You used Ryan when you got out of prison. Then when you left him, you started using Daddy Rod and Krusty Christy. And you're also using Kenny Boy. Well, Kenny Boy's actually using her, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing.
Okay, anyway, here we go. Let's continue. We do have to put our commentary in here just a little bit here and there as well because of YouTube copyright and stuff like that. So we apologize for that, but we're going to try not to pause very much at all.
My time served includes my combined imprisonment in 3 facilities. First, Greene County Jail in Springfield, Missouri, where I spent a little over a year. Then, for a month, I was transferred to a prison for women in Vandalia, until I was relocated to the Chillicothe Correctional Center to serve the remainder of my sentence. Given all that time, and with the help of therapy, family, friends, books, and my own writing, I have examined my life, actions, and relationships in great breadth and depth. At last, I've been given access to information, documents, records, therapy sessions. I'm like a detective noticing patterns, theorizing, having light bulb moments, and making new connections between things that used to make no sense to me.
I don't think she's had any light bulb moments.
No.
Like if she's had any light bulb moments, like we wouldn't be sitting here but sitting here covering her so much. She wouldn't be so messy all over social media.
Still, while a year has passed since my release from prison, my scars, both emotional and physical, remain. The physical scars are like track marks that mock my progress. I'm not saying I can't heal. What I am saying is that the physical representation of my trauma just adds another dimension to the healing process. Like when I am enjoying one of life's simplest joys. Food, y'all! And I dive carefree into my first cut of steak, or slurp of an oyster. But then I have to pause and strategize the chew. Without salivary glands and teeth, thanks to unnecessary...
You got salivary glands.
I was about to say, what are you pausing it for? But she does, yeah, she absolutely has salivary, sorry about that. She absolutely does have salivary glands. She only had a few of her salivary glands removed.
Exactly.
Literally, like, stop it. Just stop. Nobody feels sorry for you except for the few people that are what you call Team Gypsy that are on Bree's panel and Bree and Krusty Greasy. I don't even know if Krusty Greasy feels sorry for her, to be honest. She just wants the money.
Yeah, probably not.
But anyway, we'll continue, y'all.
Necessary surgeries and medications. My past will always puncture my present. The natural
You didn't have unnecessary surgeries and medications.
Louisiana sunlight that streams into my bedroom is far more forgiving than the harsh fluorescent lights at Chillicothe Correctional Center, where I was incarcerated for the 7 years after my sentencing. I have a full-length mirror now, where I can see the whole of me. In prison, I could only see glimpses of my body in an 8-inch square mirror, never quite sure whether all my parts went together. In the warm light, my scars are less jarring than I found them to be in the past. Or maybe time is softening the marks on my body. But sometimes, it's what is not visible that hurts us most. For me, that's true. For all the trauma inflicted on my body since childhood, it's the scar that isn't there that always travels with me. The scar.
Maybe like your mom not being visible. Maybe that. Is that what you're talking about there, Girly Pop? That's what you should be talking about.
That otherwise would have been there if I hadn't asked Nick to kill my mother. People really want to know, what was the final straw? When was the moment when I decided it was her or me? Here you go, y'all, on page 3.
Okay, and I was wanting to say too, real quick, that the reason we went this route and went ahead and did it this way is because thankfully she recorded this in a studio where they could tweak her voice where it's not so like nails on a chalkboard making your ears bleed and so bad. So yeah, we figured that this way, and with us speeding it up some and all of that it wouldn't be so bad. So hopefully it's not too bad for y'all to have to listen to, even though her voice, no matter what it sounds like, because she has many different voices, and no matter what it sounds like, is just angering. We get that. We completely understand that it's very angering just to hear her voice, because we all know the lies that spew out of her mouth.
1 month before the murder, my mother tried to cut my throat. At least, that's how I saw it. The cause of concern, suddenly, was my voice. It's so high-pitched. It's so squeaky. My mother complained to my ear, nose, and throat specialist. I thought my voice was distinct, like my uncommon name. Or maybe it was a family trait to be proud of. We both knew women on my mother's side of the family with similar high-pitched voices.
She still uses that voice, and we all know it. I mean, Ryan has even literally said she uses that voice on purpose to get what she wants.
Yeah.
So she does that voice on purpose.
Besides, Nick said my childlike chirp was sexy. So I didn't understand the issue, and I told my mother so. Never in front of the doctors, of course. I knew better than that. But on the way home, I went on and on, like, well, a squeaky wheel. There's nothing wrong with my voice, I said with a whimper, as she pushed me in my portable wheelchair to the parking lot where our car was parked, outside the hospital in downtown Kansas City. You heard the doctor. That voice of yours might mean there's a problem with your larynx. And that problem could be causing your sleep apnea, she said, her word final. No matter my sassing, we were going to go ahead and meet with the pulmonologist the ENT had just recommended, though we both knew very well I didn't have sleep apnea. In fact, by this point, the entire ruse had been up between us for a while. I was 23 and had tried to run away twice. I'd shot her with a BB gun. She'd chained me to the bed. I was getting older and much harder to control. The older I got, the more physical and harsher her punishments became. She stopped letting me use my custom-made Jazzy HD power wheelchair because she couldn't control it.
Are you kidding me? She's literally complaining that she didn't get to use her high-powered wheelchair because her mom, she's claiming allegedly it's because Dee Dee couldn't control it. Like she could, I guess, run away from Dee Dee in a powered wheelchair, and Dee Dee couldn't like bring her back, control her or whatever, like she could in a wheelchair that you have to physically push. But I don't think that's the case. I think it's literally she was wanting to be pushed around. She wanted to always be in that wheelchair because she always wanted to be treated like a baby.
Yeah.
That's why she used it when she went to Disney World at 23 years old, right before the unaliving of her mom and everything. Like, anyway.
Just lie after lie.
Yeah, it is. But it starts out with lies that a lot of us have already heard and know about. But we promise y'all, it gets into some other stuff that y'all have not heard yet. We promise.
I sensed she was becoming more erratic, more desperate. Only now do I see how her back was against the wall. The lie of the life she had created could have gotten her thrown in jail on a list of felony charges as long as the bayou.
You as well there, boo. You as well there. Because you, girly pop, girlfriend, Gypsy, were an adult. And you were a part of the cons. And you were a part of the fraud as well. That's what your problem was. Dee Dee wanted to be done with it, and you didn't.
Her watchful eye grew keener as the possibility of me standing up or speaking out became more plausible. We had achieved an unspoken standoff. I knew she was a lying, manipulative criminal. She knew nobody would believe me. Her carting me off in search of a new surgery, I believed, was her attempt to secure control. When the pulmonologist spoke to my mother, it was as if I wasn't in the room. Why don't we do an exploratory surgery of her larynx? He suggested. A simple operation of the voice box will get to the bottom of any respiratory or vocal abnormalities. What I heard was, let's cut Gypsy's throat for no reason at all. I had previous surgeries on my neck and the scars brutalized me. But there was something about this particular surgery that felt more threatening than others.
Like what? What other type of surgeries did you have on your neck? Because you're lying through your teeth right now.
Even more so than all the other body parts that had been constantly searched, explored against my will, without my...
There was no other body part. She only had one surgery, and it was done to her leg, and it was a muscle biopsy. She didn't have surgeries done all over her body and everything else.
My consent. I turned to my mother.
Oh, and y'all, we do have proof of this, and we are going to show that in another video, but she wanted to make everybody think that Dee Dee had incompetent papers on her, making her think that, or making her say that she was scared to run away or go to the police or whatever, because they would just bring her back because her mom had papers on her saying that she was incompetent. That's absolutely untrue, and she knows it because she was receiving medical information, medical bills, letters from doctors, all that in her own name. Gypsy was. She was receiving that in her own name. She was signing for her own surgeries, that the few that she did have, signing for them herself. The only thing she signed was, I cannot think at all at the moment of what it's called, but the paper that you sign like when you're about to be put to sleep for surgery or something like that, and you're giving someone permission to make decisions in case you become unconscious or slip into a coma, something like that, then they're able to make medical decisions on your behalf. That's the only paper she ever signed, and it was right before her surgery that she signed for and agreed to. So Dee Dee never had papers on her saying that she was incompetent, and we do have that proof.
That sounds like it hurts. I don't want it. I don't want to do it. Tears didn't form. Rage did. My mother put her arm around my shoulder and pressed me close, a signal to quiet down that had been programmed long ago. It's simple, baby. It's painless. It will help, she said, side-eyeing the doctor. What I heard was, I don't care what you want. The doctor assured me there was little risk. He kneeled down to my eye level and spoke slowly to me, like English wasn't my native language. Who could blame him? He thought I had the mind of a 7-year-old. Except my trapped adult brain suddenly felt the urgency to avoid the surgery at all costs. I thought a lot about my heightened reaction in this very moment. You know, the neck is considered the most vulnerable part of the human body. Of course, I didn't make this connection while sitting in the doctor's office, but I do think we are wired to defend our most vulnerable parts. The muscles and blood vessels and nerves in the neck are easily strained and damaged. The scars on my neck from previous surgeries, especially the one on my salivary glands, were so pronounced because the skin on the neck is very thin. I hate to overdo the parallels, blame it on therapy, but so many of the medical manipulations and interventions that I went through concern the part of me that allows for expression and truth. She muzzled my mouth shut at nighttime with a CPAP machine for my fake sleep apnea. It was so unpleasant to sleep that way. It felt like someone was taking a bicycle tire pump and forcing a ceaseless stream of air up my nose. She numbed my mouth with Orajel, so I drool and slur. She was responsible for my teeth falling out due to side effects of superfluous medications.
Okay, no, and we know that your little co-authors and all that gave you those big words to say, but no, that's absolutely untrue, and you know it.
Speaking for me and scripting my every interaction, she deprived me of finding my own voice. Now, the way I saw it, my literal voice, squeaky as it might be, could be taken from me. Her final play. My mother and the pulmonologist scheduled the operation with the same casual enthusiasm of planning a teeth cleaning. Despite my recent awakening to the reality of my life, it was here where I truly feared the scope of her malice. This surgery was completely unnecessary, exploratory, the doctor called it. While all the other surgeries also had been unnecessary, this was the first occasion where I was privy to my mother's recklessness before the damage could be done. Was this the plan for the rest of my life?
She also has made the statement that Dee Dee had her mouth injected with Botox to make her produce more saliva, not Orajel. So which is it, Dip Jip? Did she put Orajel all in your mouth, or was it the Botox? Like, come on. And I don't see Dee Dee getting your mouth injected with Botox, and I don't even see a doctor doing that, literally. That's absolutely absurd. And to know that her daughter is going to hear this book, and to know that she wants her daughter to hear her book and watch her documentary to get
terrible.
Yeah, to get the quote truth of her story, because she doesn't want her daughter to hear alleged lies, which aren't lies, it's actually truth, on social media or in school or anything like that, or in life in general. She wants her daughter she wants to be able to control her daughter like she claims her mom did her.
Yeah.
She's already planning on doing that. And she wants her daughter to only hear what she has to say, and that's it, the narrative that she's controlling. And she knows that her mom and Nick are not here to be able to rebuttal anything that she's saying.
Absolutely.
And this is so wrong.
Set me up and open piece by piece just because she could. She was making me play Russian roulette with scalpels instead of bullets. If it wasn't voice box surgery, the odds seemed to be increasingly in favor of me dying on one of those operating tables. Mama, what if they cut me wrong and I lose my voice and can't talk? I don't think she would have minded that at all. We ignored one another on the car ride home. I looked out the window, the world passing me by, more quickly now, hazier. She steered the wheel, radar-like, navigating us back to the darkness of our house. When we entered the door, she went one way and I beelined to the blue medicine basin. Her pills weren't there. Waiting for her to cross the room, without words, I rolled into the bedroom, which was suffocated with stuff.
That's because Dee Dee had to keep the medicine locked up because she was scared of Dip Jip, and because Dip Jip was stealing Dee Dee's narcotics.
Can y'all believe how bad she's making her mama sound?
And I know.
It's crazy.
Like, I know we've all heard it before, how bad she makes her mom sound, but
but in this book, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Yeah, like listening to her say it is just absolutely mind-boggling. And this is what people like her BFF Bree hear.
Yeah.
And fall for. It's absolutely absurd. Okay, y'all, there's 1 minute left of this this section.
I didn't have to rummage too far to find the pill bottle, somewhere beneath a mess of clothes and kid costumes, hand-me-downs from well-meaning strangers. I shook 3 oxycodone into my mouth and swallowed them dry, drenched in disillusion. I was just another thing she hoarded. High and numb now, I craved the fantasy world Nick and I lived in, so I messaged him. Nick and his kink world of ghastly rules was my haven, where I could let him act out anger on me that I did not myself know how to express. Do you remember when you told me you'd protect me from people who want to hurt me? I asked Nick. Yes, darling. Will you still protect me? Yes, Nick answered. Even from my mother? Yes.
Okay, that's the end of part 1. So we're going to end this video here since we did have to give that little notification at the beginning and stuff. The next one that we do probably will more than likely do the second and probably third part tomorrow. But we want to know y'all's thoughts, opinions, comments, and everything down below on what y'all think so far. But that's just the beginning of it. Her kind of, I guess you could say, briefly, vaguely telling her story in a nutshell a little bit. But when she starts, I don't even know what to call it. It's not she doesn't call it chapters, sections, or anything, but 2. When we start 2, then, we'll really be getting into some deeper things that she's saying that y'all might not have heard before, that I'm telling y'all is really going to piss y'all off. And we have not even listened to all of part 2. We're just going to wait for y'all, because it's wild what we've already heard so far. But again, let us know y'all's thoughts, comments, and opinions and everything down below in the comment section. Like always, we'll be conversating with all of you like we always do, or as many of y'all as possible. And please, if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe, like, share, hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our videos of any kind. And all of the things, and we would greatly appreciate it so very much. And again, thank you so much to everyone that has subscribed to us already. Y'all truly do honestly mean the world to us. Our channel wouldn't be what it is without y'all. So we greatly appreciate all of you. Our family and channel here is getting bigger, and we couldn't be more appreciative to all of you for that. And we hope you all have a good night, and God bless.
Have a good night. God bless.
Bye.
Bye.